Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The NFL world was left reeling in disbelief earlier today when news broke that Mike McDaniel, the charismatic and fiercely strategic head coach of the Miami Dolphins, abruptly announced his resignation during a live press conference that had been scheduled for routine team updates, but quickly turned into a historic moment no one saw coming. Fans, analysts, and even fellow coaches were caught off guard as McDaniel, known for his meticulous play calling and innovative offensive schemes, delivered the shocking news with a composed yet somber demeanor that seemed almost contradictory to the explosive nature of the revelation itself. The room was filled with a tense silence, punctuated only by the flashing cameras and the scribbling of pens as journalists struggled to process the words that had just emerged, leaving the NFL universe scrambling to interpret the underlying reasons behind such a sudden departure from a coach who had, for years, been a symbol of stability and creative genius for the Dolphins. Whispers began almost immediately, spreading like wildfire across social media platforms, sports radio, and private locker room conversations, as speculation ran rampant over whether internal team conflicts, personal ambitions, or perhaps unforeseen external pressures had driven one of the league's brightest minds to make such a drastic decision at this moment in the season. The immediate aftermath of McDaniel's resignation was nothing short of chaotic, as fans flooded online forums, video comment sections, and social media threads with reactions ranging from outright disbelief to cautious optimism about the franchise's future. Analysts, typically reserved in their commentary, found themselves thrown into a frenzy of theories, some pointing to potential clashes with team management over player acquisitions, others suggesting that McDaniel, a disciple of the legendary Mike Shanahan coaching tree, may have been seeking new challenges or opportunities outside the Dolphins organization. The ripple effects of this announcement extended far beyond Miami, reaching the offices of rival NFL teams, potential coaching candidates, and sports networks eager to break down every possible angle. Insiders hinted at behind-the-scenes tensions regarding team strategy and personnel decisions, while some former players expressed shock and sadness, recalling the unique rapport McDaniel had cultivated in the locker room. The story rapidly evolved into a multifaceted puzzle, with no single narrative dominating public discourse, as fans and professionals alike attempted to reconcile the sudden void left by a coach whose impact on the Dolphins' offensive identity had been profound and widely acknowledged across the league. As the sports world digested the news, debates ignited over what McDaniel's next move might entail, fueling endless speculation about potential returns to former teams, collaborations with legendary colleagues, or even a complete departure from coaching to pursue personal or entrepreneurial ventures. His tenure with the Dolphins had been marked by a mixture of tactical brilliance and occasional controversy, but it was his ability to inspire both players and fans alike that had solidified his reputation as a coach whose influence extended far beyond X's and O's. Rumors circulated suggesting that contract negotiations, differences with upper management, or even health and personal considerations could have factored into the decision, yet nothing had been confirmed, leaving the NFL universe suspended in a state of curious anticipation. Pundits dissected every past game, press conference, and sideline interaction for clues, eager to construct a coherent narrative from a situation shrouded in uncertainty. Meanwhile, the Dolphins organization released a brief statement acknowledging McDaniel's resignation and expressing gratitude for his contributions, but the lack of elaboration only served to deepen the intrigue, leaving fans and media alike piecing together fragments of information to predict the cascading effects of this unprecedented mid-season shakeup. The ripple effect of McDaniel's announcement quickly extended to player morale, with team insiders hinting at mixed reactions within the Dolphins roster as athletes processed the sudden news of losing a coach they had come to respect and trust. Some players were reportedly devastated, citing McDaniel's mentorship, strategic guidance, and personal engagement as key factors in their professional development, while others remained cautiously optimistic about potential changes in leadership that might align with their own ambitions or playing style. Sports psychologists and commentators speculated about the emotional impact on the team, suggesting that such an abrupt change could either galvanize or destabilize the squad, depending on the approach of the next interim leadership. Meanwhile, rival teams began recalculating their strategies in anticipation of the Dolphins' transitional phase, eyeing opportunities to capitalize on any temporary instability and setting the stage for a high-stakes series of matchups where momentum and morale might prove decisive. In this charged atmosphere, the NFL landscape seemed to shift overnight, as every conversation, tweet, and broadcast segment became intertwined with the unfolding narrative of McDaniel's departure, amplifying the sense of drama and urgency surrounding one of the most unexpected coaching resignations in recent memory. Media coverage of McDaniel's resignation became a whirlwind of conflicting reports, speculative interviews, and expert analyses attempting to fill the void left by the lack of official explanation, with every network and publication eager to stake its claim on the breaking story. Industry insiders, some speaking on background, hinted at complex interpersonal dynamics within the Dolphins organization, while others suggested that McDaniel's decision may have been influenced by an attractive offer from a different franchise or a high-profile advisory role elsewhere in the league. Social media amplified every whisper, with hashtags trending globally as fans, commentators, and former players debated not only the immediate consequences for the Dolphins, but also the broader implications for coaching hierarchies and career trajectories in the NFL. Conspiracy theories mingled with informed speculation, blending narratives of professional ambition, loyalty conflicts, and even hidden financial incentives, creating a storm of conjecture that made it nearly impossible to separate fact from rumor. Every outlet seemed to chase the next exclusive, adding layers of drama and suspense that heightened public fascination, while the Dolphins' management faced mounting pressure to announce a successor who could stabilize a franchise suddenly thrust into uncertainty, ensuring that McDaniel's sudden exit would dominate headlines and discussions for weeks to come. Amid the frenzy, former players, coaches, and sports analysts began dissecting McDaniel's career trajectory, tracing his path from the Denver Broncos in 2005 through his years as a skilled assistant to his emergence as a head coach capable of reshaping offensive strategy in the modern NFL. Comparisons to other prominent figures in the Shanahan coaching tree became inevitable as pundits evaluated whether McDaniel's departure signaled a potential seismic shift in coaching influence or simply represented a personal crossroads in the life of a man whose professional instincts had long been praised. Fans nostalgically revisited past games, highlighting pivotal victories and memorable moments under McDaniel's leadership, while social media accounts and fan forums erupted with tributes, speculation, and even petitions urging him to reconsider. The narrative quickly evolved into more than a simple resignation story. It became a cultural moment, reflecting the emotional attachment, strategic fascination, and high-stakes drama that defined professional football at its highest level. In the midst of this whirlwind, one thing remained clear. Mike McDaniel's resignation was not merely a news item. It was a seismic event, sending shockwaves through the NFL and leaving every observer eager to see what the next chapter of his career and the Dolphins' story would entail. As the Dolphins organization scrambled to respond to the unexpected resignation, speculation regarding potential successors intensified, with insiders hinting at a secret shortlist of candidates who might be brought in to stabilize a team suddenly thrown into uncertainty. Rumors swirled about former assistants, retired coaches, and even surprise external candidates, each name sparking intense debate among fans and analysts, as the prospect of a leadership overhaul injected both excitement and anxiety into the franchise's immediate future. Social media became a battlefield of predictions and personal opinions, with some fans advocating for a high-profile hire capable of continuing McDaniel's innovative offensive approach, while others argued for a more traditional, disciplinarian figure who could restore perceived stability. Meanwhile, rival teams quietly adjusted scouting reports and strategy meetings, aware that the Dolphins' transitional phase might open doors to capitalize on inconsistencies, miscommunications, or temporary morale dips. Speculation also extended to the potential influence of ownership, management, and influential player voices in shaping the next coaching decision, raising questions about internal politics, loyalties, and hidden agendas that may have contributed to McDaniel's abrupt departure. In this environment, every handshake, sideline interaction, and private meeting became fodder for rumor, as fans and pundits alike tried to construct a coherent narrative from the chaos surrounding one of the most shocking events in recent NFL history. Inside the Dolphins' locker room, uncertainty reigned as players grappled with the emotional and strategic implications of losing a coach who had become an integral figure in their daily routines and professional growth. Sources suggested that veteran players, in particular, struggled with the sudden shift in leadership dynamics, recalling the trust and understanding developed over years of practice sessions, film study, and game day collaboration with McDaniel. Meanwhile, younger athletes appeared cautiously attentive, sensing both the opportunity and the risk inherent in a leadership vacuum, understanding that the decisions of the next coach could significantly shape their careers and development trajectories. Sports psychologists consulted by media outlets speculated on the long-term impact on team cohesion, emphasizing that the sudden resignation could either galvanize the Dolphins into a renewed collective effort or exacerbate underlying tensions, depending on the approach of interim staff and management. Off the field, rumors continued to swirl, linking McDaniel's departure to potential offers from rival franchises, lucrative advisory positions, or even non-football ventures, all while emphasizing the enigmatic nature of his decision. This blend of professional uncertainty and personal speculation created a perfect storm for ongoing discussion, fueling the narrative with intrigue, suspense, and the ever-present question of what comes next for both McDaniel and the Dolphins organization. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Media outlets and social commentators quickly seized upon the story, dissecting every word, gesture, and facial expression McDaniel had displayed during the live announcement, searching for hidden clues to the underlying causes of his departure. Analysts debated the likelihood of conflicts with management, disagreements over player contracts, or philosophical clashes regarding offensive strategy, while others proposed more speculative narratives, including the possibility of personal or health-related motivations. Pundits on television panels and digital broadcasts offered endless scenarios, sometimes contradicting each other, further amplifying the sense of drama and uncertainty surrounding the Dolphins' sudden leadership void. Meanwhile, sports podcasts and fan forums exploded with minute-by-minute updates, reaction videos, and theoretical projections of the franchise's trajectory without McDaniel at the helm. Former players contributed anecdotes about his coaching style, mentorship, and influence, providing both praise and critique, while journalists attempted to validate insider tips and off-the-record statements that promised context but often added layers of ambiguity. The result was a swirling narrative that seemed almost impossible to resolve, a blend of factual reporting, rumor, and personal interpretation, highlighting the extraordinary impact of a single resignation on the broader NFL ecosystem. As speculation about McDaniel's next destination intensified, rumors pointed toward multiple high-profile possibilities, ranging from a return to familiar franchises where he had served as a trusted assistant, to potential collaboration with legendary coaches seeking a fresh strategic mind. Some insiders suggested that McDaniel might explore opportunities outside the NFL entirely, leveraging his reputation, creativity, and leadership skills in unexpected ways that could reshape his career trajectory while keeping fans and media alike guessing. Meanwhile, the Dolphins' management faced mounting pressure to respond decisively, balancing the immediate need for stability with the long-term vision of maintaining the team's competitiveness and culture. Public relations strategists emphasized careful messaging to maintain fan engagement, while internal discussions focused on both interim solutions and permanent hires capable of filling the substantial void left by McDaniel. The intrigue surrounding his departure was compounded by subtle signals from his professional network, cryptic social media activity, and selective interviews, all of which fueled endless speculation and debate across platforms. In short, the resignation became a living story, evolving minute by minute as analysts, fans, and insiders attempted to interpret its implications, both for McDaniel's future and the ongoing narrative of one of the NFL's most fascinating franchises. The broader NFL community reacted with a mixture of shock, curiosity, and opportunism, as rival teams quietly assessed how McDaniel's absence could affect competitive dynamics within the league. Coaches and general managers reportedly revisited game plans, roster strategies, and draft projections, analyzing whether the transitional period could provide a tactical advantage or introduce unforeseen complications. Sports writers and commentators debated whether the Dolphins would maintain their offensive identity, pivot strategically, or adopt an entirely new philosophy under temporary or permanent leadership. Meanwhile, fan engagement skyrocketed, with discussion threads, podcasts, and video analyses generating immense traffic, as audiences sought to contextualize the resignation within both historical and contemporary NFL narratives. Social media, as ever, magnified the drama, blending informed speculation with humorous memes, heartfelt tributes, and conspiracy theories, illustrating the powerful emotional and cultural resonance of McDaniel's departure. Even within professional circles, discussions extended to broader implications for coaching mobility, contract negotiation practices, and the evolving nature of leadership in high-stakes sports, highlighting that the ripple effects of this single event would be felt far beyond Miami or even the current season. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.